Welcome to Around the Weird. Here's your host, the museum curator of the strange and unusual, Mr. Nothing.
Thank you, mysterious voice, and welcome back to Around the Weird, a booktube channel where I talk about all the unusual and out of the ordinary literature that I found in my travels. Today, it is Poetry Thursday, so I wanted to highlight some more spooky-themed poetry as we are in the month of October. And today I found, a quality poem from an author that I've talked about on this channel before. And today's poem is all about dreams. I am referring to A Dream Within a Dream by Edgar Allan Poe. I've talked about Poe on this channel before, so I don't need to go into that great of detail. I feel I say that whenever I talk about him because I've just talked about him so many times. But he is an American author who was known for writing short stories and at least one book predominantly, but he also wrote poetry as well. Very dark, very broody, very gothy kind of poetry, which I've talked about his poems on this channel before, which I really like, and they're the best amount of dark, and The Raven is possibly one of the best poems ever written, in my opinion. Possibly in your opinion as well. Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, without further ado, let's talk about A Dream Within a Dream. I will read it, do a little bit of analysis, and we will move on from there. A Dream Within a Dream. Take this kiss upon the brow, and in parting from you now, thus much let me avow. You are not wrong who deem that my days have been a dream, yet if hope has flown away in a night or in a day, in a vision or in none, is it therefore the less gone? All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. I stand amid the roar of a surf-tormented shore, and I hold within my hand grains of the golden sand. How few, yet how they creep through my fingers to the deep, while I weep. O God, can I not grasp them with a tighter clasp? O God, can I not save one from the pitiless wave? Is all that we see or seem but a dream within a dream? And so that was A Dream Within a Dream by Poe. In terms of analysis, there is a fair bit to talk about with this poem. I do have to say the structure, the rhyme scheme of the poem is very jarring to read at times, but that might be Poe's intention. Because he rhymes brow with now with a vow, deem, dream, away, day, none, gone, seem, dream, roar, shore, sand, hand. But the lines, like they aren't, like there's no like rhythm to the lines, I feel. So it's kind of jarring to read out loud. I found like the couple times I was even practicing the poem just to get a feel for it, it was kind of hard to get into. He has a bit of an unusual style, but that might be intentional on the part of Poe in an effort to make you feel like this like something's wrong, like that you are in a dream, but these things don't quite flow as one would, that it feels a little bit stuttered or something like that. In terms of narrative, there's no strict narrative in the poem. It's just a narrator lamenting that the world feels like a dream, and you don't have that much of an effect on the world around you. Like he even says, in a vision or in none, is it therefore the less gone? All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. And like he's trying to hold the sand, the particles of sand like you might find on a beach, and they just creep through his fingers. You cannot control anything. Time keeps on slipping into the future, as they say in one of my favorite songs, whose name I'm forgetting. But I'll put up here. It was in the Space Jam soundtrack, but I also know it from other things, so don't just merely think me, a plebeian of sorts. But the Steve Miller Band, I believe it is. But yeah, like time is slipping and everything is but a dream. Like there's a feeling of nihilism and hopelessness, especially at the end of the poem, where he says, "O God, can I not save one from the pitiless wave? Is all that we see or seem but a dream within a dream?" He repeats that refrain again. and not being able to save one from the pitiless wave is very interesting. Given what we know about Poe's life, he was very depressed. Like people around him died, especially the woman that he married. He wasn't able to save her, and so it's very clear that Poe had depression. You see it in his writing, and it might lead one to believe that you can't save anything, that time is just going on and on and on. It takes everything from you, and in the end, you're dead too. And it's so that's very much in line with this spooky sort of nihilistic Halloween theme that we have going on. Although this is more creepy in a sense that time is the ultimate master here, and that everything you do will lead to nothing because as time goes on, we eventually die. So less of a mystical sort of spooky and more of a spookiness of death and the passage of time there. Anyway, those are my thoughts on A Dream Within a Dream by Edgar Allan Poe. As I usually say when I read Poe's works, I definitely recommend it to you out there. He has a good way of writing his poetry as well as his short stories, getting you to think and really doing some interesting things for the time that he was in. So I recommend that you go seek it out and, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I would love to have a conversation with you about this. Otherwise, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't heard of Poe or this poem, which a lot of people might not have heard of his poems. Also join the Discord if you want to have further conversations about books or other media or whatnot. And until then, I wish you the best of luck in your weird and dreamy travels. Farewell.